Shame clings to my bones like the memory of your core touch. Loving you was a shadow dance where I lost all light. Your silence screamed louder than any confession I ever made. I swallowed my pride to carry the shame you left behind. Being with you was a slow unraveling beneath a veil of disgrace. Shame is the secret tattoo etched beneath my skin for you. You are the ache I never learned to forgive in myself. Loving you meant learning shame's language with trembling lips. I held your ghost in the chambers where shame quietly lives. Your love was a riddle wrapped in the silence of shame. Shame became the hymn I sang when you stopped hearing me. Being yours was drowning in a sea no one else could see. I traded dreams for shame's cold shadow and lost myself. You turned my heart into a graveyard of silent regrets. Loving you was tracing the cracks. Shame carved in my soul. Shame folded me into a whisper I never dared speak aloud. Your absence bleeding shame in the quiet hours. Being with you was carrying a secret no light could reach. I learned shame. Kiss where your love should have lived. You left me holding silence heavier than any confession. Shame is the shadow you cast on the love I offered. Loving you was a confession I'm still too afraid to speak. I walked with shame, like an old friend disguised in sorrow. You were the storm, shame the silence that followed the wreckage. Being yours felt like wearing chains forged from whispered lies. Shame is the echo of all the words we never said. Loving you left me a ghost wandering my own heart's ruins. I carried your shame like a burden only my soul could feel. Your love was a lock, shame the key I never wanted. Being with you was a story written in pain and regret. Shame lives in the space between your absence and my longing. I hid in shame's shadow, hoping you'd never find the truth. Loving you was a slow death of every hope I dared hold. You made my heart a secret I buried beneath endless shame. Shame is the scar I wear from loving you too deeply. Being yours was losing myself to a silence darker than night. I whispered love to you. Shame answered in cold, empty echoes. Your absence wrapped me in a shroud of quiet disgrace. Shame is the truth no one wanted to admit about us. Loving you was a lesson in how to disappear inside pain. I wore your shame like armor, but it only cut deeper. Being with you was drowning in a sea of unspoken regret. You taught me how silence can become a prison of shame. Shame is the ghost that haunts every corner of my heart. Loving you was a slow unraveling beneath a sky of lies. I held your shadow close, even as shame devoured me whole. Your love was a wound bleeding shame into my soul's depths. Being yours meant walking a path paved with broken promises. Shame lives in the spaces where your love never reached. I carried shame like a secret tattoo, invisible but searing. Loving you was learning how to survive on regret and silence. You are the ache that echoes in my quietest moments. Shame wrapped itself around my heart like a winter's chill. Being with you was a confession written in tears and silence. I traded my light for the darkness you called love. Your absence left a hollow space filled only with shame. Shame is the silence that screams louder than our words. Loving you was walking through fire and emerging ash. Being yours felt like a sentence I never wanted to serve. Shame is the ghost of all the love you never gave. You made my heart a battlefield strewn with shame's debris. Loving you was a confession I am still too afraid to speak. Shame is the weight I carry when I whisper your name. Being with you was losing myself in a maze of disgrace. Your love taught me how to bury my soul in shame. I wear your shame like a shadow that never leaves me. Shame is the echo of all the promises you never kept. Loving you was a silent scream beneath a calm facade. I folded myself into shame's cold embrace just to survive. Being with you was a wound that never found healing. You left scars only shame knows how to trace. Shame lived in the spaces where your kindness never reached. I carried your shadow. Heavy, endless shame against my skin. Loving you felt like kneeling before a mirror cracked with lies. Your name on my lips tastes bitter. like regret's last breath. I wanted light, but with you, only darkness spoke. Shame is the ghost you left me to carry in the quiet. Our love, an echo of pain dressed as whispered promises. I stitched my heart to your mistakes, bleeding unseen shame. You taught me how silence can crush louder than screams. Shame is the cold bed where our love quietly died. I whispered your name, but only Shane answered back. Your touch left a bruise no one else could see. Loving you was carrying a weight that crushed my soul. Shane carved a hollow where my heart used to live. Being with you was surrendering to a slow-burning disgrace. I wore silence like a shroud to hide my shame. Your absence is a wound bleeding shame in every quiet hour. Shame is the echo of love I was never allowed to keep. Loving you felt like drowning beneath an unforgiving tide of shame. I buried hope beneath layers of shame you never lifted. Being yours was a confession I kept locked inside my bones. Shame is the secret song my heart sings when no one listens. Your love was a storm, shame, the silence that followed. I held your shadow even when shame blinded my vision. Loving you was tracing scars shame left on my soul. Being with you was losing myself in the folds of disgrace. Shame wraps. Tighter than any chain love could break, your silence turned my pride to dust beneath shame's weight. I traded my light for the darkness. You called love. Shame is the language my heart learned too well in your absence. Loving you was a slow death beneath a sky of broken dreams. I folded myself into shame's cold embrace just to survive. Being with you was a wound no healing could touch. Your love left me hollow, filled only with bitter shame. Shame is the ghost whispering in every corner of my mind. I carried your shame like a secret tattoo beneath my skin. Loving you meant living with a silent, unbearable regret. Being yours was walking through fire and emerging ash. Shame grew once dared to bloom between us. You made me small in ways only shame can explain. Loving you was a confession I'm still too afraid to speak. Shame is the weight I carry when I whisper your name. Being with you was losing myself in a maze of disgrace. Taught me how to bury my soul in shame. I wear your shame like a shadow that never leaves me. Shame is the echo of all the promises you never kept. Loving you was a silent scream beneath a calm facade. I folded myself into shame's cold embrace just to survive. Being with you was a wound that never found healing. You left scars only shame knows how to trace. Shame lived in the spaces where your kindness never reached. I carried your shadow, heavy, endless shame against my skin. Loving you felt like kneeling before a mirror cracked with lies. Your name on my lips tastes bitter, like regret's last breath. I wanted light, but with you, only darkness spoke. Shame is the ghost you left me to carry in the quiet. Our love, an echo of pain dressed as whispered promises. I stitched my heart to your mistakes, bleeding unseen shame. You taught me how silence can crush louder than screams. Shame is the slow poison I drank for the love that wasn't. Being with you was like wearing a crown forged from regrets. I held on to us, even as shame tore me apart inside. Your absence is a wound where shame's fire never dies. Loving you only drowning how to drown in my own shame. Shame is the dark river where our love quietly drowned. I whispered love, but shame answered with a cold, hollow laugh. Being with you was a sentence I never wanted to serve. You made my heart a battlefield strewn with silent shame. Loving you was a confession I'm still too afraid to voice. Shame is the weight I carry when I whisper your name. I wore your silence like a shroud, thick with disgrace. Being yours was losing myself in a labyrinth of shame. Your love taught me how to bury my soul beneath regret. Shame is the shadow that never leaves my broken heart. Loving you was a slow unraveling into quiet despair. I folded myself into shame's cold arms to survive your absence. Being with you was a wound no forgiveness could heal. Holding silence heavier than any confession. Shame is the ghost that haunts every corner of my soul. Loving you was secret I whispered only to the night. I carried your shame like a burden no one else saw. Being yours was walking a path paved with broken dreams. Shame is the silence between all the words we never spoke. Your love was a lock, shame the key I never wanted. I buried my truth beneath layers of shame you freely gave. Loving you I felt like kneeling before a mirror shattered by regret. Shame is the ghost you left behind in the quiet moments. Being with you was drowning in a sea of unspoken shame. I wore silence like armor, but shame pierced every crack. Your absence carved a hollow space filled only with shame. Loving you was learning how to live inside my own disgrace. Shame is the secret tattoo etched beneath my skin for you. Being yours was a confession I kept locked inside my soul. You showed me how love can become a cage of shame. I carried shame until my own shadows followed me whole. Loving you was a slow surrender to silent self-judgment. My dear, being near you feels like drowning in silent disgrace. I carry your shadow, heavy, endless shame against my skin. Loving you felt like kneeling before a mirror cracked with lies. Your name on my lips tastes bitter, like regret's last breath. I wanted light, but with you, only darkness spoke. Shame is the ghost you left me to carry in the quiet. Our love, an echo of pain, dressed as whispered promises. I stitched my heart to your mistakes, bleeding unseen shame. You taught me how silence can crush louder than screams. In your arms, I lost my voice beneath a weight of shame. We were fire, but only ash remains in my soul's corners. Loving you felt like walking barefoot on shattered glass. Unseen, shame clings to me like a second skin I never chose. You made my soul shrink, too ashamed even to whisper my own name. Being with you was a slow unlearning of self-love. My heartbeat learned shame in the rhythm of your absence. You gifted me the cold exile of hidden burning shame. The shame isn't yours. It's the prison I built from your silence. You whispered love. Shame screamed louder beneath the surface. I hid pieces of me beneath shame's heavy, unforgiving veneer. Your gaze turned my pride to dust, crumbled, worthless, unseen. Loving you was wearing chains, forged from quiet humiliation. Shame lived in the spaces where your kindness never reached. I am a confession I never dared to say aloud. Being with you was a prayer answered, steeped in disgrace. Your love was a lesson in how shame devours the soul. We danced on a floor paved with silent, unbearable shame. I drank the bitter wine of shame, hoping it would numb me. Shame is the language I learned after losing you. You taught me how to fold myself into shame's cold corner. Being yours felt like wearing a mask glued with regrets. The shame lives where your promises turn to hollow echoes. I buried my truth beneath layers of shame. You, gifted freely, you live scars only shame knows how to trace. Loving you was a slow surrender to silent self-judgment. Shame wrapped around my heart like a bitter, endless winter. I whispered love. Shame answered with a silent, cruel laugh. Your absence is a mirror reflecting shame's darkest corners. Being with you was falling into an ocean of unspoken shame. Shame is the secret we never dared to share aloud. You showed me how love can become a cage of shame. I carried your shame until my own was all I knew. Your touch left me holding ashes of quiet disgrace. Shame is the shadow where our love withered unseen. Being with you was a wound that never found healing. I wore shame like a crown no one else could see. Loving you was stepping into a storm of silent shame. You made me doubt my worth in ways shame perfected. Shame is the echo of promises you never meant to keep. I folded myself into shame's cold embrace just to survive. Being yours was a confession written in tears and regret. Shame is the quiet screen beneath the smile I wore for you. You took my love and traded it for endless shame. Loving you felt like carrying a weight no soul should bear. Shame is the language my broken heart learned too well. I held your lies like a secret carved from shame. Being with you felt like fading behind a curtain of shame. Your silence taught me how shame can kill what love cannot. Shame is a ghost whispering in the halls of my mind. Loving you was a journey into a forest thick with shame. You make me small in ways only shame can explain. Being yours was carrying a cross no one could see. Shame is the wound beneath every word I never said. I traded my light for the darkness you called love. Loving you left me a hollow shell, wrapped in shame. Shame grew where love once dared to bloom between us. Being with you was a slow erasure of my own soul. I drank shame like poison, hoping it would wash away you. Your love was a thief, stealing joy and replacing it with shame. Shame is the silence that screams louder than our words. Loving you was walking through fire and emerging ash. Being yours felt like a sentence I never wanted to serve. Shame is the ghost of all the love you never gave. You made my heart a battlefield strewn with shame, debris. Loving you was a confession. I'm still too afraid to speak. Shame is the weight I carry when I whisper your name. Being with you was losing myself in a maze of disgrace. Your love taught me how to bury my soul in shame. I wear your shame like a shadow that never leaves me. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more.